let's jump into kind of how I found out about all this. You made that post last summer. Was that before or after David Grush testified?
It was before Grush.
Oh, that's even more interesting.
Yeah, it was
but after he had done his News Nation interview.
No, it was way before that. If you go back to look at my original interview, it was over a year ago. It was way before the Grush testimony. It had I have to look at it, but it was way before Grush came out.
Okay, so you make that post. Year goes by. When do you get in contact with News Nation, or how does that work? Who contacted you? You contacted them?
Yeah, I sent an email to Ross actually, and his producers contacted me. I forget the woman that contacted me first, and then there was a male gentleman. He contacted me too about setting up a time when it got closer to the interview time.
So what was the sell, if you will, on the story from your end? Like, what was your pitch to them?
Well, I was telling him about the site and what I discovered, and which he was more or less concerned with, UAPs and things like that, which, I never mentioned anything about seeing a UAP there. And
got it.
I, just told him basically what I told you about the site, and he went through everything really quick. I mean, I've been retired for a couple of years, so I don't really talk to people all the time, and I definitely haven't talked to a national reporter like him. So
Sure.
it was a little bit too fast paced for me. When I talk about being disappointed in the interview, I just mean that it just went a little bit too fast for me, I think, and I wished I could have been more elaborate with or just
some of your
more
answers
detail.
and nuance, give better. Yeah. How long did it last? Like, how long was the interview?
I would say maybe 20 to 25 minutes.
Oh, really? So that's not even going to be the edited interview, right? It'll be shorter than that, clearly. So that was a 20-minute, and it was just you and Ross, or a producer was there?
Yeah, it was just me and Ross.
Okay.
We didn't have much small talk. He said, "Oh, Georgia boy, huh?" And he said, "You still got the hair?" I was like, "Yeah." And we just went into it, and I said, after so many years, it just kind of grows on you, and I, cut my own hair most of the time.
Yeah, absolutely. Looks good. No, absolutely. Okay, so you do this interview with Ross. When did you record it?
I didn't record the interview.
Well, I mean, when did they record? When was it recorded?
The interview happened?
Yeah.
It was around the first week of July.
Okay, of this year, right?
Mm-hmm.
Of this year. So,
okay, I was looking through my emails I had with the producer, and I found where he said it should air this month. August is what I read. I think I forwarded those to you.
Yeah, you did. You did. I can confirm your your military service, these emails that you had with News Nation, all of that, definitely. So you put up this Reddit post saying like, "Hey, I made this story. I told this story. I don't know if my story is going to come out on News Nation." So are you just sharing like some frustration there on Reddit of what's the issue? Like, you wanted the interview to come out sooner, or do you think they're going to scrap your interview?
Right. No, what it was, I had no idea that sometimes interviews take months to come out.
A long time.
I had never done a television interview in my life.
Got it.
And I just had no clue about when they
how this works.
And I had so many appreciated comments on my Reddit posts with people saying, "Don't lose heart, sometimes they get 3 months away, and sometimes it's a year before they air them." And I was just not knowing, really.
Got it. So you're cool with News Nation and Ross and everything, and you want this interview to come out. And from what I can tell from the correspondence you had with them, I think the most recent, it was like, "Hey, we're going to let you know it's coming. It's all kind of booked right now, but as soon as it comes out, we'll send you the link, right, to this. So, I mean, from what I can tell, it's at the end of the day, you never know. That is true. They could scrap it. They could not. It could be a last minute decision. Sometimes it's not has nothing to do with the quality of the interview. It's scheduling. It's content. It's there's a million other reasons that doesn't make it a better excuse. But sometimes business is business, even when it comes to stuff like this. So,
And I'll just say also, I had no clue how big that story got on Reddit. And a
it
lot of
did.
people asked
It was
about
huge.
why I put it on Reddit. And the
Me
reason I put it
myself included.
I just don't use a lot of social media. I just think it's bad for you sometimes to do a lot of stuff like that.
You're not
And
wrong.
I try to keep it simple. Um, Reddit and YouTube's about it for me on social media. And
Reddit, what an interesting choice, because I hate Reddit. I think it's one
yeah,
of the most toxic places on the
it
internet, if
is.
I'm being honest.
People can be very mean.
Oh, they're
When
mean
I
to me
started
there
talking,
every day. I'm banned from a lot of subreddits. They hate vetted. Now
yeah,
some people love us. Don't get me wrong, but we're very divisive. But man, I get so much hate. Some of the most vile comments I've ever read on the internet have come from Reddit, which is
Reddit. And
disappointing.
I had no idea that people were even talking about my story. I got a guy um, that sent me a message that said, "Hey, they're talking about your story on Vetted." I said, "Oh,
Oh,
okay."
nice.
Which I'd seen the show a few times. I'd watched it, and so I clicked over there, and I'm like, "Okay, I'm on the hot seat." And there
I
was another one.
love it.
There was another. Um,
Mildly warm seat, I would say. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
No, man, it's been great. I wanted a chance to explain. I know a lot of people were confused about why I put it on Reddit, and what was the disappointment with the Ross interview, and it was just more or less myself. Just being disappointed in myself a little bit, and
Sure.
wishing I could have had more time to elaborate. But I know he's a busy guy. I know that he's got probably a million people coming at him with stories,
Definitely.
and I
Definitely.
sent him all my military discharges and everything that I said, and to back up what I was saying. And uh, we just wrapped it up, and he was gone. I mean, it was just short and
That was the
sweet.
end of it. Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. Absolutely. Sometimes it has to be that way. He's definitely a busy guy. Definitely when it comes to UAP phenomena. If I get reached out to as much as I do, I can't even imagine the kind of
Yeah,
outreach that he gets, to be honest with you. Now, to be fair, you also were in a little bit different position than most people, because you were moved into the News Nation sort of thread and dealt with them, and actually got to sit down with Ross, which is really, really cool. Regardless, right? It's a really cool thing. So look, one thing that I don't want to forget it. For the last 10 minutes, I've had it pinned up here, and I'm like, okay, just bring it up at some point. So I just want to, because I'm going to forget it. Something in one of the comments you made on my YouTube video, let's get that cleared up, because I made a comment in the video about what, and I mentioned something about the SKIFF, like that you were confusing it with the site or something. So let's just clear that up.
oh
You weren't
yeah, yeah,
saying
yeah,
that, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
The
Let's
skiff.
just clear that up. Sorry,
Well,
I'm an idiot sometime. It
no,
happens.
the place inside is itself is a skiff.
Because
It's
they
a
could be
restricted
huge,
site.
right?
Yeah,
I read about that. They can
yeah,
be massive. Entire buildings can become skiffs.
yeah. I mean, it's a restricted site. You have to have security clearance to get in there. The guy that I was reading about today, he had commented on something, one of the posts, and said that he was just at Site C6 2 weeks ago, and
Oh, I
he
saw that comment.
he's
Yeah.
yeah, and he said something about, yeah, this would be a place that would probably monitor UFOs or UAPs or something like that. And he really surprised me, and I was glad that he said that he was escorted there, because I've had so many criticisms from Air Force vets saying, well, there's no way you could have got in there and all this kind of stuff. And I said, I didn't go in there alone. I wasn't by myself. I had a guy with
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
And
So it's
the
a
Air Force
rogue
guys,
mission.
the Air Force guys, man, they tear me up. I mean, they get after me about stuff, and you know, I explain it, and they still they still
Didn't
give me a
believe it.
hard time.
Sure. Sure. No, I get it. All right. Was there any other parts to this story or whatever that you wanted to clear up that you feel are misunderstood out here in public? You know, I'm sure you've read a lot of comments and seen a lot of things. So let's clear it up. Let's feel free.
No, like I said, I was just gonna, you know, say my piece to Ross and just be done with the topic, really, because
Sure.
it's so toxic. It's, I mean, it's such, I don't know. You got people who are skeptical about it. You got a lot of people that are, you know, just have never seen anything, and you know, I understand that, and you know, it's taboo with some people. So,
Sure.
you know, it's just you have all different aspects of people, you know, that think so differently about it, you know, and a lot of people don't know what to think because they've never seen anything, which I understand that. That's why, you know, I've seen a lot of people who study the topic for a long time, and they get where, you know, they make a lot of sense in the beginning, and then years down the road, they're just whacked.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I just, I don't want that to be me.
Yeah.
I've only I've only done one other podcast, the Basement Hangout. I did that once, and that's the only interview.
And you told
Other,
this story,
yeah,
all of this here? Got it.
yeah.
How long ago was that, you think?
That's been 6 months or 7 months ago, I think.
And you came out with your name and everything on that podcast.
Yeah,
Got it.
yeah.
Got it.
And they had interviewed Ross actually, and they were telling me that I should mention them about getting him to come back on there for another interview or something. And then they said he came on once and we haven't seen him since. And I said he's probably really busy. I'm sure he is.
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely. Well, you're trying to do your own content, and then people want you to come onto their content. That
Mm-hmm.
makes sense, right? That becomes very um, time, sensitive, especially when podcasters are. Sometimes people think, "Oh, we're going to go 2-3 hours." It's like 2-3 hours.
That's
Are
a
you
hot.
kidding me?
That's
Yeah,
a hot.
that's right. That's
Maybe
a lot.
maybe once a week or something like that. But you know,
Sure.
my whole intention of saying all this stuff was
Yeah.
help people look in the right place and know that they do have the capabilities to do this, because these explanations of the footage wasn't that great because our camera was having problems, or it was just too grainy to make out, you know,
Yeah.
that's not true. They have the capability to see these things a lot more clearly than, you know, what they present to the public. So I knew it was just hogwash.
I want to see it. I want to see this stuff. Do you think there's any other, you know, sites like C6, like that are similar that we
Quaduline,
use?
from
Like, does C6 mean like there's C5 and C4 and C2? Like, I don't even know
yeah,
what that means.
you can go online and see a map of Eglin, and it has the different, you know,
Okay.
sections of the base, and it'll show, you know, that's actually one of the ways that I found it too, was when I was looking for it, you know, I saw the restricted sites, and I had the name of the place finally when I was doing my research, and I matched it up to the map, and I realized, you know, hey, okay, that's it, that's site C6, and I saw the picture and everything, so I knew that it was the right place, and you know that it was a restricted area, because I think when we went up there that day, I didn't even realize it was a strict restricted area. Because when you're a military police, most of the time you just go anywhere on the base you want to. You have to be able to go anywhere on a base for any reason, you know. So you don't really think about a place being restricted. You just walk in.